We're going to talk about things that you can do and things especially not to do that will make you a better server. Okay? Maybe you're starting your very first serving job. You're just coming out of the gate. You're trying to up your game quickly, be at that level that your peers are at. Maybe even you're a veteran server and you're just looking for ways to kind of up your skills a little bit, make some more tips. Here with me, I have Jeremy. He's a very knowledgeable server. He's the one who helped me when I started out. And when I started implementing the things that we're talking about today, my tips literally went up 30% per shift on average. I seriously, I can't go a shift without a customer or a guest pulling my manager aside and raving about me and saying how awesome everything is.
He's really.
So the concept we're going to cover right now is a concept called silent service. Basically, when the food hits the table, you're gonna look around and make sure everyone has everything that they need when that food hits the table. Okay, if they're missing something, go get it from them. All right, so they have everything they need. All right, now you exit, you remove yourself from the situation. Your manager will tell you something called the 3-bite rule. Basically, the 3-bite rule is when after that third bite of food that the customer is going to take, then it's your job to immediately, boom, intervene, present yourself to the table, say, hey guys, how's everything taste? How's everything? You okay?
Let me interrupt you, Brandon. I got to say a little something on that 3-bite rule myself. It should have never been thought of. Whoever came up with it, disregard it. It's no good. Doesn't matter. Be insubordinate one time in your life. The 3-bite rule needs to be done. You can definitely, as Brandon, his favorite word is anticipate. You anticipate that table. You don't need to speak to them. They don't want to know you're there. Right? They might want to know you're there, but you don't need to let them know you're there.
You don't need to engage them.
Exactly. If they don't need you, then you don't say a word to them until at the very end. But on that.
So he's correct. You don't want to engage your table. All right. What you want to do is anticipate what your table is going to need and then get it for them before they ask. I mean, and this means, obviously this means drinks, but it means for anything else.
That whole anticipation, I will have to say, is vital. It is vital, not only for this right here, but just to prioritize your guest experience. When you anticipate them needing extra rice or a side of sour cream, or the child might need a side of honey mustard for some chicken strips, if you bring it automatically without being requested or asked upon, you're kind of play that silent role in providing them necessities for their dining experience. If they get that without having to ask, and if they get it without even thinking about what you brought them until you brought it, and they realize they would have needed it in the future anyways, and it's already on the table. Brandon, can you imagine what that will do for a guest experience?
It's impressive because you anticipated it. I mean, and then you don't have to ask for it. And it's a situation where if they need, let's say, okay, they don't have extra napkins. They didn't really ask for it, but you're gonna take a stack of napkins, walk over to that table, drop it, and then just walk away.
No eye contact.
No eye contact. No nothing. Just anticipate what they need. All right, and again, we're going back to silent service to where you can check on that table 20 times during a visit.
You're walking by. They know you're there.
But do not, and I mean do not engage the customer.
If you do,
don't engage the customer.
Just
okay,
don't.
Make eye contact. If they want something, they'll engage you. Okay, if they need something, they'll tell you. But you can check on that table 5, 10, 15 times, but you're not asking them dumbass fucking questions saying, "Hey guys, how's everything doing? How's everything taste?" They don't want to hear that. They want to enjoy themselves. They want to conversate with the person they're with. Maybe it's a couple. Maybe it's a family. Still,
they didn't come out to talk to you.
Exactly.
At all.
So you can check on a table without talking to them. Okay, walk by the table slowly, make eye contact, and walk away. If they need something, they'll engage you and they'll tell you. Now, You may be wondering then, well, if okay, so everything's anticipated, everything is on the table that they need, they don't need anything. So you may be asking, okay, how do I know that the food tastes good? How do I know that they're doing okay?
And on that, I'm going to interrupt you, Brandon. I got to tell you right here. This right here is the halfway point of perfection for satisfaction. Halfway, but you're already going to say, wait a minute, this is top notch. Watch this. The only time you need to speak to your table is on that last bite. You're in the area, you happen to be walking by, you happen to see them take the last bite, you hold your hand out, you say nothing. They look at you, you don't need to make eye contact with them, you keep ground level where your hand is, where the plate is, they place it in your hand. Then you bend over and say, how did everything taste? Oh, it was really good, man. Thank you so much for asking. You don't say a word. You don't smile. You just remain composed. Turn around.
Remove yourself from the table.
Remove away. Walk away. Repeat. 2, 3, 4, however many guests are at that table.
Go back up to the second guest.
In order. And remember each one that you have already previously whispered to. At the very end, you go to get their last plate. And you ask the whole table in unison, is everybody satisfied? And you just simply acknowledge each person. And as they each nod, you just kind of give a little graciousness, turn around, walk away. You don't have to say another word to that table if they sit there for an hour. Let them be. Do not rush them.
And you don't have to say stuff to them because you're walking by that table and you're making eye contact. So you're making a beeline from the kitchen to the dining room. But when you hit your table, you slow down. You bring it all in. You're giving your attention to the table. And so you look, no one makes eye contact, they're visiting, they're talking, they're having a conversation. They know you're there, but they're not, if they don't need anything, they're not going to engage you. So then just walk off. That's how you properly make sure that your table is okay and that they don't need you.
And in reality, most of the time, when they finally do engage you after being there 30 or 45 minutes and not a word spoken amongst you, 99.9 and some percentage points, they're going to say, that was the best service I've ever seen, just because you left them the hell alone. They didn't want to talk to you, but you took outstanding care. Food was phenomenal. It came out. And the most important point of all, Brandon, this is one you and I haven't even discussed yet, is you're on their time. Be check ready. On that note, I will give it back to Brandon.
Be check ready, guys. One of the biggest mistakes you can do as a server is dropping off the check too early. You don't want to drop the check off too early.
They don't want to be rushed.
They want to be rushed. And it's a mistake because it can come off as rude. You don't know how it's going to come off. That being said, print that check after the entrees are rung in. Put that shit in your apron. If they want dessert, if you want to up some dessert later, you can reprint the check. But be check ready. That way,
if they get a crazy phone call, they need to run out of the building.
Yeah. You can either drop off the check when you know they're done, or they might ask for the check before they're done, and then you just pull that mofo right out of your apron, right down on the table, and that's a very, very impressive.
Where at on the table, Brandon?
In the center, right?
Right in the center. Do not look at who is paying. Do not anticipate who's paying. Just lay the book down.
So you're saying don't hand it to the man.
Never, ever, ever, ever. Do not anticipate the man getting that check, people. That is the worst mistake you can make. You lay it down, but lay it down almost. Don't even look at who. You just lay it down and just walk away.
What if someone grabs for the check?
If someone grabs for it, Brandon, that's when I get aggressive as a person. And I'm not a very aggressive person most of the time. I will physically, if I see two claws coming for it at the same time in the middle of the table, I will just pull that bitch back until I see both claws disperse. And all of a sudden, I just real quick put it in the middle of the table and I turn around and I get the hell out of Dodge. And I'll let them figure it out.
All right, guys. So be check ready. Just drop the check in the center of the table and on the edge in the center of the table. All right, that's a professional way to do it.
And if you do, they'll know it.
And guys, don't do that dumb shit to where, I know we're talking about when the food hits the table, but don't do that shit where you like pull up a chair, sit down with your table, start talking to them.
Oh Lord!
I know this is gonna hit home for some.
Woo!
I know this is gonna hit home for you guys because you're doing it because you want to develop a connection with that person, develop a relationship. The problem is it's not helping you.
Not good.
Be professional. Be crisp. Be smooth. Be enthusiastic. Be confident. Okay, but don't, have good posture. Don't do that shit where you pull the chair out, sit down. Don't do that shit where you kneel and rest your elbows. This is going to hit home for some people because I know you have good intentions. Just don't, it's not helping you. Okay, silent service. Don't engage the table. Walk by that table. If they need something, they'll tell you. And if not, leave them alone. Like Jeremy said, leave them the hell alone. They paid for that food. They paid for the rights to that table. All right, it's theirs. Our job is to maintain it.
And you do not rush them under any circumstance. There is no such thing as quick flipping a table. You're on that guest time. They do not want to be rushed. If they want to be there for 3 hours, it doesn't matter if you're rushing them. They will be there for 3 hours and you will pay the price. If you're relaxed with your guest, they're even more relaxed with you because, number one, if you're on their time and you don't care about any type of schedule they have, chances are they notice. So just pay a good mind to your guests and that. Yeah,
guys, use a little bit of common sense. Anticipate what they're gonna need. If someone has a little ramekin of sour cream or a little ramekin of sauce and they dumped it all over their dish and it's sitting there,
get them another one.
Just go grab another ramekin of sauce, whatever it may be, honey mustard, drop it on the table and walk off. Just drop it on the table and walk off. Don't interrupt them. Don't ask them if they need anything. Just get them what you think that they'll need. All right? You're a good server. You have common sense. You know the menu. You know what goes with what good. And that's really what it's going to do is that customer is going to have such a good experience. They got their food. You anticipated their drinks. You anticipated things like napkins, sides, silverware, things like that. And they're going to look at that checkbook when they're signing the tip, and they're going to say, "Man, I don't really know what it was. I can't really put my finger on it.
This guy was the best I've ever seen.
But that was some really good service." And they don't know
best
why.
Ever.
They don't necessarily know why.
Really?
But, it's just
can't figure it out.
It's laying the experience out there for them, and it's giving them the whole thing.
And he and I are here for a while to keep you in tune on how to exceed the expectations.
All right, so go out there, take charge.
Succeed.
Take charge, anticipate what your tables need, and just give some good service.
And I think that on that note, we'll catch you on the next video. And always feel free to go back and we always got new content coming out. So thanks for clicking.
Catch you later, guys.